Heidi ho, neighbor. Terry Caliendo from Dedicated Managers here again, and I wanted to talk about search functionality. So I've got the application working fairly well, where I'm able to load a lot of data, but I don't have a way to search through that data yet. And Firebase does not exactly have the greatest search capabilities for nested or full text search. So let's say that the names or some of the information on my database had two words like this: search technology. Well, Firebase can really only, if one key has these two words in it, Firebase only organizes by the first word. So I can search for SEA, that type of stuff in Firebase. But if I wanted to find the word technology, I would have a very difficult time finding it without having having search be part of the search. So if I just searched for the word TECH, I wouldn't get in Firebase's results. It would be very difficult for me to get this stored data returned if that was the full string. So if you look at Firebase here, I'm in Firebase, and even their documentation says, hey, if you want to do full text search, you've got to find another way to do it. We don't support it yet. So one of their solutions was Algolia, which I decided to give a try. And I was actually pleasantly surprised to find that Algolia has a community pricing, which is free for open source, which is what I'm doing. Plus, they are also free for 501c3 nonprofits. And I'm also making this project for a 501c3 nonprofit. So I'm going to get to use this. Actually, I think it's a step up from this for free for the project. So I think that's really cool. And I kind of want to show how I've started to integrate this Algolia into the project. And they actually have a Vue component. So this is Algolia's community Vue InstantSearch. They actually have a Vue component already built that allows you to actually install it in your project, and you can load the components into your project. So they have all kinds of different components. Search box, if I look at that, this is now Vue stuff that we can put in Vue to load the project. So I'll talk about that in a second, or load the search. I'll talk about that in a second. Let me actually show where the project is at right now. So if I load the project here, I've got four clients that I've loaded in my project. And I can actually go into the Algolia dashboard. This is what you'll get once you sign up and you log into your account. And you can see there's the clients here. And I had to do some special functionality that I'll talk about in probably another project or another video to actually get the data from Firestore. So when I save this data, it gets saved to the Firestore database. I need to reload this to show the clients. So I have two choices. When I save this, when I create a new client, I need to save it to the Firebase database, and that information needs to get to Algolia somehow. Well, I could do it right from here where I save it to both places, but Firebase actually has cloud functions that you can use to then pass data from your Firestore over to what I do is to Algolia. So when these new primary caregivers, when new data gets loaded, I have functionality on the back end in the functions section that then goes and passes that information over to Algolia. And so this is my Firestore on write function. And so if I view the logs on it, you can see that there's some stuff happening. When that gets called, I then copy that information. This is my functionality being run, where I copy that information over to Algolia. So I'll talk about the code that does that in another video. But for now, just know that anytime a new client is loaded, the data gets stored to both the Firebase database here in my Firestore. So these are my 4 documents. You can see client 4. it gets saved there, and then the Firebase goes and throws that information over to Algolia. So now I've got that information in Algolia where I can start to do searching on it. And so here's my search component that I created. And so I'll just click on it to start it. And I'm using Vue to show Vuetify to make this look pretty. And then under the hood, I'm using the Algolia View component to display the search results. And I'll talk about that probably in another video. I'll keep this as an introductory one. And so not only does it load, the most relevant to start, and I can hide this functionality ultimately so that it doesn't do anything until I type, but I can also search on just about any field that I tell it to search on. So if I wanted to search for the last name for, it immediately loads that client. But let's say I didn't know which street what the address was, but I knew the street of the client, and so I knew they lived on Drive. So client 3 it's 3 Drive, and this is redundant because I'm just doing the spacing. I actually call the same thing here. Ultimately later this will be city, state, and zip, but I just don't have that information on my database yet. So I just loaded it twice to make the spacing look good for the output. So, but you can see that both client 3, client 2, client 1, they all have Drive. So I'm searching on the address field. It just Algolia, you tell it which fields to search on, and so it searches on all of them at once and returns the most relevant results. So if I was looking for the last name Scooter, Scooter came up as that's the middle name of this guy. So if I look at this guy, there's Scooter. And so that's the middle name, and I'm searching on it. So, and notice I even spelled it wrong. I put SCOOR, and it still figured out Scooter. It found the most relevant result with a mistake, which is pretty awesome. So that's Algolia doing the search for me based on the information that I send it. So, if I spell Drive, DREVE, I still get results, which is awesome. If I spell a person's name wrong, if I'm looking for client 3, that's the last name of client 3, but say I forget the R and I spell client Fee, I still get a result. It figures it out. It didn't figure it out here. That's no results found for the word the. It took a little more information for it to find it. But they all have, let's go back here, they all have the last name or the first name of client. So I can look up client, and I'm going to get all the results of all of them. And these are also clickable that I can, then choose. I'm now not looking at anyone. If I want to go to client 3, I can actually click on it. And now the way Vue works in the background, it actually loaded the client back there. But I've still got my search open, which is cool because now I can switch through the different clients and look at their different information. And if they had, if I add an income to this guy, income for, I think this was 4, I'm not sure. Nope, client 1, sorry, it's right there. Client 4, client 1. So now I go back to client 1. Now I'm not searching on this stuff yet. Ultimately I can, but so as I load the clients, if I go to client 3, you can see it loads all the information for client 3. He doesn't have any information in this nested entity, so it doesn't show up. But if I go back to 1, that information gets loaded. So you can see this whole area is reloading per that client. So the search functionality is just pretty awesome. That I don't even have to let the I don't have in this basic search, quick search right here. We don't even have to have checkboxes for what you want to search on. Just search for something, and we'll go and find out the the most relevant results that have to do with that. Even if you spell it wrong, or we'll go out and find that type of stuff. I don't think it's smart enough that it's not smart enough yet. I think I can configure it, but if I look for client roof, oh yeah, it does. It searches between. Remember, these are 2 different. If I click on this, this is one field in the database, and roof is another field. That's the middle name field. They're not together yet. Algolia is still finding it, which is because they're both these fields are part of the search, it's finding it. So that's really awesome, and that's actually created here in my ranking system. These are my searchable attributes. I'm searching on last name, first name, middle name, and the street address right now. And street address typically has, this is where I get my functionality to search multiple words. So if I turn unordered off and I go back and reload, now when I search for drive, I don't think I will get it. Oh, I still will. So it's still looking for it, but I think that might be cached. I don't think it's supposed to find that. I think the unordered is supposed to allow you to search, deep within. So I'm not sure exactly why that's working, but anyway, this unordered is supposed to allow you to pick any word from it in any order. Maybe if I do GRIVE3, it still finds it in the same field. It doesn't matter that it's out of order. I guess that's what that is. Learning myself. I actually thought it was for different functionality. So anyway, you can see that, it's pretty powerful search functionality, and all I had to do was do some plug and play, and I'll talk about that in another video. I just want to introduce the fact that I've included search functionality and how it works. So again, Terry Caliendo, thanks for playing along. Have a great day. See you in the next video.